Broncos country, I cannot wait any longer. I can smell it. I can sniff it. It's right around the corner. It's a Titans versus Broncos pre-game show. We're going to go in depth. I can't wait to get started. Let's get started right about now. Welcome in, everybody, to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. My name is Keith Brugman. We're going to be with you all season long, man. If you don't know the new schedule, Monday, we're going 7 a.m. with a brand new show. But if you're looking just talk Broncos, Wednesday, 7 p.m., Friday, 7 p.m., that's when we're going to get it kicked off. And don't forget about those post-game podcasts, man. That's the reactions we love to get from all of you. We're going to get reactions to the beginning of the season. Again, my name is Keith Brugman. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. I'm not alone. I got my good friend, Mr. Trevor Salzman. Welcome in, Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely, Keith. Doing well. Been sick all week, so it's been a heck of a week. But no, glad to be here and talk Broncos. I mean, it's football season's underway. It's crazy. Last night's game, get the Eagles and Cowboys game. You had a lightning delay for a storm coming in, so that's just maybe a little sign of what a season to come for all 32 teams around the NFL. But nonetheless, excited to jump into the game tonight, or into the game for Sunday, and break it all down tonight.
A storm is a brewing. And it's called the NFL football season, man. We've been preparing for it all offseason, Trevor. And now it's finally here. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe that I'm going to go to sleep tonight, have one day, go to sleep again, and wake up, and it's going to be game day. It's right around the corner, man. And it seems like it takes forever in the offseason. Seems like all these little storylines that we go over are meaningless until it comes this time of year when all of a sudden it's game one, man. And Sean's talked about, this team has talked about getting off to a fast start for the 2025-2026 season as we look to go into January and February. That being said, it all starts, man, on Sunday at 2:05 Mountain Standard Time, and I can't wait to get it started, man. Got the posse that's jumping in, man. Can't believe it. Graham was the first one in, man. That never happens. Go Broncos, 2 more sleeps. Man, I just checked the comments, man. I had no idea exactly what you had said, man. So it's funny that we were on the exact same page, man. Exact same page. Chargers fan tonight, says Dave Glassman, as they're matching up against the Kansas City Chiefs. No solo intro today. I don't know what that means. Solo intro for me always. Hey, guys. Nice to see you guys, says Mr. Roy Osborne over there on Facebook. And Miss Pearl saying, hi, Chargers game is on YouTube. What the heck? What the heck's going on with that? Good to see Ernie Mays. Not going to put all his comments up if they're not nearly as appropriate. Make it more appropriate, Ernie. I want to say hello to you, my friend. In Brazil as well. So take that, my friend. And the Chargers are leading, so we got to love that. I guess we got to love that, man. I think a lot of predictions have the Chargers, not necessarily taking the AFC West, but the Chiefs taking the AFC West. So anytime we can get a peg knocked down on that board, maybe that's a good thing, buddy. That's a good thing. I'm sure we'll get updates throughout the evening. But right now, man, we've been saving it, man. It's been so tough to not talk about this game, man. I've been wanting to talk about this game for over a week, Trevor, and now we're going to bust into it, man. I don't know where you want to start, but obviously there's some storylines on the Broncos side that I think we need to get into, and I think that you would like to get into because I think they're pretty big when it comes to the potential outcome of this game. Certainly, the expected performance we expect from the Denver Broncos come this Sunday. So let's hit that first, man. I know there's some things. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, take it away, man.
Absolutely, Keith. First and foremost, did you want to hit on the Nick Bonito signing extension really quick before we went into the game?
Why not, man? I'm. That's just it, man. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it still ain't enough, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Still ain't enough. But let's go ahead and talk some Nick Bonito. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Nick Bonito, that contract, that extension that we've been talking about for a while. I mean, they finally got it done. I mean, it's about dang time. I'm gonna pull up the details here in a minute, but 4-year deal, up to $120 million, $70 million guaranteed. Keith, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it's like $26 million a season, and it's up to about $30 million. I think there's gonna be incentives into that contract, I would imagine. I think it's probably more of a 3-year deal. Heavy loaded into those 3 years from a bonus standpoint. So, I mean, I'm glad that they finally got the extension done. That was kind of the range we talked about before. The whole Nick Bonito contract extension was around $26, $30 million a year. I mean, we were right on point with that a couple episodes ago, actually. And we feel like we've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, anyways. All these extensions getting done, but it's good that the Broncos ended up getting this done. I think that it's good for both sides. It didn't get chaotic at all. Nick Bonito seemed like he really loved being in Denver. Even more so that I kind of thought he'd get a little bit more than 26 million a year. I thought he'd get at least close to like $28 million. But took a little bit less, I think, just to kind of get it done. And he spoke about it at his press conference, Keith, after the fact that the deal officially came out. Nick Bonito did kind of say, hey, I just wanted to get a deal done. I don't want to worry about this during the season, basically. And, it's not all about the money. I want to go out there and win a championship. Is what's important for me to stay in Denver. So I think Nick Bonito made the right call. The Broncos certainly made the right call. And hats off to George Payton. Once again, one of his draft picks getting a contract extension. What that makes Pat Surtain, Quinn Meinerz, and now Jonathan Cooper, as well. And now Nick Bonito all getting a contract extension from that 2021 draft class. I think Mr. George Payton is going to be due for a contract extension down the line. Not too soon future, probably.
Yeah, Ernie May is pointing it out as well, 26 million, but upwards of 30 if with all the incentives. I want to see the details of that contract and break into it. Are those easy incentives to hit? Is he a $28 million guy, as you just pointed out, Trevor? And incentives are really towards 30. If it's like start 14 games, get him an extra couple $1 million. I don't know. What I'm talking about. Some of these are a little bit easier to hit than others. But I'm glad it got done, Trevor. I was honest in my speculation. I said it on this podcast. I said it over on our fantastic friend, Mr. Kurt Valente, his Let's Talk Broncos podcast. I was concerned that Jerry Jones is going to target Nick Bonito. There wasn't very many pass rushers out there that didn't have a contract done. Nick Bonito was one of them. And he talked about using his draft picks to go out there and get a pass rusher right now. There's nothing saying I can't do that, he said. So, well, Nick Bonito, I looked at like in the crosshairs, deal not done. I will say the one thing I love is that, and we can talk more about this, things are behind closed doors in this Sean Payton regime. Things don't get ugly and aired out, as you kind of mentioned in what you were talking about with the Nick Bonito contract, and ultimately it got done. Yeah, and that's what really we wanted. I was brought back, and I think the Denver Broncos posted the video of Nick Bonito getting drafted and him being absolutely in tears with the Denver Broncos selecting him. I think that plays a lot into the fact, like you said, he just wanted to get something done, man. He
Yep.
just wanted to make sure he was a Denver Bronco and we could move on with the season. I think there's a lot of emotion in, who got him, who selected him, who had faith in him. And that was the Denver Broncos, and we're moving forward. Got to say aloha to Mr. Patrick Wiltsey. He's coming in here. He's dropping stars too, buddy. 100 stars. Aloha, boys. And then just announcing it in big old caps. Football. Football, baby. That's what it's all about, man. We're, like I said, 2 sleeps away. We're all set to go. Can't wait. Can't wait. I see there was a question by Graham. I might get to that in just a second. I'm going to get to one more, and that's Mr. Phil McLaughlin, who's also dropping stars. Man, you guys are killing it, man. Trevor comes in late. We should do that more often, man.
It happens all the time.
Happens all.
He's already used
never
to
expect it. We could go on a midnight, and Trevor would be not waiting, but he would be 10 minutes late. Good evening, Keith and Rocket Man. Glad to get Benito signed. Who is next? What will be the run-pass ratio this game? Let's hit the next one, man. Who's next, man? Is there a next? Is there a next? I mean, these Denver Broncos, this ownership group that has come in has absolutely kind of taken me aback, man. I'll be honest. Kind of taken me aback in the way that they've handled business. Good job getting our guys signed, core guys. But is there a next? Who's next?
I just mentioned him earlier. I think it's got to be George Paton. I mean, I just take away Sean Payton for a minute. This is George Paton's draft class. I mean, this is before Sean Payton even came aboard. George Paton gets a lot of flack for the Russell Wilson trade. I don't blame him for taking that big swing, first and foremost. This team was dead in the water. They had no quarterback since Peyton Manning came through. You took a chance on Russell Wilson. Nobody thought it was going to go as bad as it did when they got Russell Wilson. He took that chance, but guess what? He learned from that, had a great 2021 draft class. Oh, by the way, everybody wanted Justin Fields over Patrick Surtain. Guess what? George Paton drafted an all-time pro, a cornerback, and Mr. Pat Surtain, and just had a fantastic 2021 draft class. I can't implement this enough. And George Paton don't get enough credit for how and where this team is at today. A lot of this team's core players that they have right now is from George Paton's draft class before Sean Payton even came aboard. And that's a lot of credit to Broncos ownership group for giving George Paton that flexibility and allowing him to do his job, because if George Paton wasn't the Broncos GM, he would have a job in 2 seconds. He's a great scout. He's great throughout the draft. He was great throughout the draft before Sean Payton came to Denver. And I think George Payton's got to be next. You've got to lock up your GM. The culture I think George Paton has brought from Minnesota to Denver, I don't think it's talked about enough. I've been a big component of George Paton, and for very good reason. And everybody's starting to kind of see that throughout this roster and how it's kind of starting to transpire. You're starting to see some of these guys from his draft class, 2021, start to get paid. And moving on down the line, you'll continue to see guys getting extensions. But, I mean, I think it's got to be George Paton. And I know people are going to say John Franklin Myers, but Savion Jones, for me, is probably going to be John Franklin Myers' replacement. I don't see them. There's only so many players they can actually keep around, Keith. They can't keep everybody. That's just the reality of a cap league. You can have the richest owners in the NFL, and they do. That doesn't matter when it comes to a cap situation. Now, if you're talking about taking dead money like a Russell Wilson contract, that probably comes into play a little bit. From a cap perspective, you got to get creative, and there's still a salary cap there. When it comes to stadiums and upgrades, that's the whole different thing. That's where rich owners come into play there. But when it comes to a cap league, you can only sign and re-sign so many players. And so I think JFM, unfortunately, he's looking like he's going to be that guy that may be out the door, but you have replacement in place for when he leaves. Unfortunately, I mean, again, we'll see how it transpires throughout the season. I think they're going to let JFM contract kind of play itself out. But I think the next contract extension I think we will see has to be George Paton and how great of a job he's done since arriving in Denver. And despite the Russell Wilson trade, he's still here working with Sean Payton to try to fix his team.
Boy, I don't know if George Paton needs an agent or if he has an agent or if that's part of getting re-signed. But if he does need one, I would choose the Rocket Man. George, if you're out there, choose the Rocket Man. That was like a 3-minute rant on why George Paton should be the next guy signed. No, I'm just giving you a bad time. I got to say, man, there's a lot of agreement here, man. I didn't think necessarily about, going outside of players when question was posed to us. By the way, Ernie May has given us a update. The Chargers are up 13-3 on the Chiefs. I guess we'd love to see that, man. But George Paton does deserve it. I'm in 100% agreement. If there's one guy on this entire team that needs a contract extension, that needs to get paid, that has done a fantastic job. I mean, people can poke holes at Russell Wilson all you want, man, but you also got to figure he's the guy that helped work their way out of that mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to start taking huge cap hits and still attract great players, still get good free agents signed, go out there and draft well, utilize your draft picks wisely. I mean, all arrows are pointing up for George Paton, man. Even with a Russell Wilson.
And Keith, here I want to mention another point as well with George Paton, and really quick, because again, this is
16 minutes in, we're at George Paton rant. I'm just
Go ahead. Well, and here's the thing though. Sean Payton's probably not in Denver if it wasn't for George Paton. Here, and this is what I'm meaning for this. When Bradley Chubb, there was talk about Bradley Chubb kind of getting a contract extension. Would he return to Denver? You know what George Paton got for Bradley Chubb? A first-round draft pick that got Sean Payton to Denver. The Saints weren't just going to let Sean Payton go for nothing. They wanted a first-round pick, and that first-round pick that you got back for Bradley Chubb was used to acquire Sean Payton to bring him to Denver. So, again, George Paton was every bit a part of bringing Sean Payton to Denver as well, getting that first-round pick, because that season Denver had no first-round pick. They obviously used that on the Russell Wilson trade, and George Paton was able to acquire that to get Sean Payton to Denver. So I think to this day, I don't think we see Sean Payton in Denver if it wasn't for George Paton getting that first-round pick for Bradley Chubb.
Very good, man. Like I said, George, if you need an agent, man, I found your guy, man. I found your guy. Enough said. I'll go outside the box a little bit. If we go this entire year and we don't see another contract extension mid-year, because a lot of the guys I think that we needed to and wanted to get locked up for the season have been locked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
JFM withstanding. And poor guy, man, he just can't get it. He just can't get that big contract. It doesn't matter where he's at. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to say Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram, for all intents and purposes, has been brought in here on a 1-year contract. Right? I know it's longer, but he's been brought in here on a 1-year contract. I think if Evan Ingram goes out and proves himself this season, Evan Ingram's the guy who gets the next contract, and you lock him up and you go forward. I got to lock up and go forward with Mr. Michael, the Ronquillo. The Stars, man, I tell you what, man, I don't know if it's there's like the meteor showers happening, but we got a shooting star show this evening. Now, Michael Ronquillo comes in. He's our third star giver, saying good evening, Keith and Trevor, and go Bo Broncos. He's got the blue and orange hearts. And as always, that mile-high salute. Michael, we salute you for always coming in here and taking care of us. We appreciate the 100 stars. He's also given us some updates. Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy left the game due to an injury to his shoulder when running into Travis Kelce. So, my goodness. Phil McLaughlin has a question. He's posing it again because he wanted this one before. Mm-hmm. And now I got to get to this one. I got to get to another one. I think that Graham had a question earlier as well, man. It all pertains to this game and beyond as well. Phil McLaughlin's really pounding home. He wants to know. He needs to know. He's not leaving without an answer, Trevor, to the run-pass ratio in this game. Let's get into this game, man. This Titans team, this Denver Broncos team, we'll back up in a moment. We'll maybe hit some injuries because we'll need to hit that as well. But the run-pass ratio for the offense, who look fairly healthy, how do you see that playing out for Sean Payton in this offense?
I mean, I think Sean Payton's going to stick to his guns. I think it's going to be a pass-heavy game. I think he's going to want to showcase Bo Nix a little bit, especially since there's been a little trash talk, I should say, from the Tennessee Titans standpoint, saying Bo Nix is just a one-read quarterback, and that's not true at all if you've ever watched film on Bo Nix. But I think Sean Payton's going to use the screen game a lot. I think that's getting the ball out quickly and getting into the hands of RJ Harvey and some of your, J.K. Dobbins, some of your backs using that screen game is going to be a part of the run game like Sean Payton has done in the past. I think he'll try to run it there for a little while. I just have yet to see Sean Payton stick to the run. And so we'll see if they actually do that. And here's the thing. If the run game's not working for obvious reasons, then there needs to be a quick adjustment. I mean, you can't just keep doing it over and over and over again and running, similar plays. This offense has to get quickly. They have to get going quickly. They can't, I think, fall behind too far because, yes, it's Cam Ward. Yes, it's his first game in the NFL. I get that. But here's the thing. You don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to come out there and try to win a football game? I think you'd be crazy because this is a team that, they were bad last season. Don't get me wrong. But this is, I think, a new regime, a new quarterback, and a team that you don't want to give even a sniff a chance to go out there and have success. So if you're Denver, you got to take advantage of this defense and attack them. I mean, they have Jeffrey Simmons, they have L'Jarius Sneed on this team. I mean, they've got players on this team. I mean, this is not just a team that is just going to roll over. They're going to go out there and they're going to compete. So run pass ratio, Phil. I think Sean Payton's going to try to run the football, but I think towards the end of the game, I think he's going to want to showcase Bo Nix a little bit more and put the ball in Bo Nix's hands. He loves Bo Nix, and he loves having Bo Nix have control of the game and being a big part of why the offense is moving the football. So I got to see Sean Payton commit to the run, I guess, more than he has in the past for me to believe that he's going to be able to run the football a little bit heavier than he has.
I'm probably going to go the opposite side. I'll be honest, man. You just talked about it, man. I think that Sean Payton does have something to prove. Right now, Omari and Hampton has went 8 for 31, 3.9 yard average. He's beating down the Chiefs. I don't know what Travion Henderson's going to do, but these are guys that were passed over by Sean Payton. And he took RJ Harvey. And I think he'll have something to prove on that end as well. I think there's going to be a heavy, heavy dose of the run, especially against this defense that, is supposedly all stacked up and ready to take on the run game. Sean Payton's been redeveloping this run game into a wide zone scheme. And I wouldn't be surprised if he sits there and he tries to pound that home, especially against a Titans team who's not expected to do a whole lot. You can always change course. But if you're out there and you're in a low-scoring game and you're grinding and pounding with J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, I think that might be okay in a game like this to start off. I'm going to go on the opposite side of things. I'm going to go 60-40 because I see a few predictions coming in, like Michael Ronquillo, 60-40 on the positive side for the passing game. I'm going to go 60-40 on the positive side for the rushing game. I think he really tries to push this home and push, like you said, the narrative that he did well in his draft pick this year.
Yeah.
His draft pick this year on offense.
I would say more or less, Keith, I would say it was like 70-30, to be honest. Just knowing, I know Sean Payton's got this new zone run scheme that he's trying to run. I get that, but he loves putting the ball in Bo Nix's hands, and he loves Bo Nix to cook, and he wants Bo Nix to cook. I think Sean Payton's coming into this game with, hey, I'm going to show you how good Bo Nix actually is. You want to talk all this trash? I'm going to put the ball in his hands, and he's going to beat you. And he's going to show you why, how good of a quarterback he is and why we selected him. So I think there's a little bit of that in this game. That's why I think it's going to be a little bit more heavier in the passing game than in the running game.
All right. We will find out. Now, that being said, I got a new name for Adam and Kayla that's coming in. I'm going to call him Adam and Kayla Florida. Hope you're enjoying the Florida life, Adam and Kayla. Looks like you are, and the kids are as well. Coming in saying, good evening. Go Broncos. Appreciate y'all. Much love. And much love to you guys. Like I said, looks like you're enjoying the Florida life. make sure you stay Broncos fans. Don't change that at all. Got to stay there. Trevor, I think we have a little bit of time. I want to get into injuries real quick. And there's a couple of Denver Bronco injuries that we need to get to right off the bat because, like I said, they're going to impact the game. Let's hit it real quick, and then we can hit our break.
Yeah, so Dre Greenlaw and Malcolm Roach have officially been ruled out for this game, Keith. This is something I was worried about with Dre Greenlaw, and it's been something I've worried about since they signed him. I think, yes, he's was a great signing. Well, possibly good signing at the time. And the upside's definitely there if he can stay on the field. But once again, I mean, it's just the injuries. I mean, it's a quad. It's something you worry about that may bother him all season long, and you wonder how long it's going to be until we see Dre Greenlaw on the field. We haven't seen him on the field all that much since signing and being a Denver Bronco. So we'll see how that kind of nagging injury affects. I think it's going to be more of a week-to-week kind of standpoint where Denver has what Denver's timetable is going to be with Dre Greenlaw. And then Malcolm Roach, he's out with the calf injury. From what I've heard, it's going to be multiple weeks for Malcolm Roach. And this is a huge loss to this defensive line up front. Now you're asking Savion Jones. Maybe we see a little bit more Wazirike as well in that rotation. But these are two big injuries that are not ideal to start off the season. And this team's going to have guys that step up at the end of the day. And it's unfortunate. Justin Strnad's going to also be the guy that's probably going to step in for Dre Greenlaw as well. Alex Singleton, from what I've heard, is not going to be on the snap count. And as well as Lavelle Bailey, expect him to get elevated for this game and be a part of this game on Sunday.
All right, we got a little bit more time, or at least I'm going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Strnad, Lavelle Bailey. Give me your split on that one. Who gets more snaps there?
I would lean towards Justin Strnad getting a heavy dose of the snappage there, Keith. I think Lavelle Bailey's there for a depth reasons. If something would happen, Alex Singleton or Justin Strnad, Lavelle Bailey can be put in there. I don't think Lavelle Bailey sees the field a ton. I think maybe you'll see him on a couple snaps, defensively to kind of keep fresh legs on the field because it's week one for these guys. But I expect to see Justin Strnad get a heavy dose alongside Alex Singleton in this game, being your starting inside linebackers against Tennessee. And Justin Strnad, I think that he's capable of doing so. He did that last season. Yes, I know he's not an inside linebacker that you can count on each and every week, but I think for a couple games, I think I'm more than fine with Justin Strnad filling in for Dre Greenlaw if it means Dre Greenlaw is going to be healthy down the road. And I think that Denver's taking that precautionary, as time goes on. They want to get Dre Greenlaw healthy, and they don't want to overdo it and push him week one.
Obviously not, man. We talked about snap counts. We know the snap count for Dre Greenlaw now. We were hoping that it was going to be most of a game or we'd be able to get a lead and pull him. The snap count is 0 for Dre Greenlaw at this point, as he's not going to play. We can't overlook Justin Strnad, what he did last year. It's just also really tough to overlook what Lavelle Bailey did in this preseason. I would have no problem if there was closer to equal time than we're actually going to see. Because I think you're right. Justin Strnad is going to get the majority of, the snaps when it comes to inside linebacker. I got to ask you this, though, man. Does it make a little bit more sense to have Jordan Jackson over in Wazirike taking over from Malcolm Roach? And that's one question that comes to mind for me, which also means that you'll probably see a lot more Zach Allen than we want to see or Sean Payton wants to see as a guy that's taken on more snaps than just about anybody. What are your thoughts on Jackson getting the snaps at the nose tackle position, especially, against this Tennessee Titans team that seems to play they're a trench type team, in my opinion. I mean, Cam Ward might change that now, but they've been a trench type team.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect a heavy dose of anything DJ Jones. I think DJ Jones is going to play a lot on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he's definitely going to be the guy that is going to get more, not only less just majority of the snaps, but he's going to be trying to earn his money week one, being the one and only, starting nose tackle on this team. But yeah, Keith, Jordan Jackson, I think he'll be part of the rotation to answer your question. I would just be curious if Wazirike will even see the field. I mean, you kept this guy on your 53-man roster for a reason. What's the point of continuing to say it was Enrique week in and week out? This is a time where he needs to step up and he needs to really show, hey, this is why I'm on this 53-man roster. At some point in time, if you're going to have injuries on this defensive line up front, you need to see what you have in Wazirike. You can't just keep hiding him and just setting him on the bench. He needs to play at some point in time. Yes, if Jordan Jackson, and I think he is, Jordan Jackson right now, I think is a better player than Wazirike. And I think he'll see, if it comes to that point, I think Jordan Jackson will see more snaps than Wazirike. But I just would be curious to see if Wazirike gets any time with Malcolm Roach down, because here you're not only talking about Malcolm Roach being out 1 or 2 weeks, you're probably talking about Malcolm Roach being out 4 to 6 weeks right now, because it's a grade 2 injury. So, I think that you're going to have to see a little bit of rotation in there, just so guys aren't getting banged up this early in the season.
Fair enough, man. I didn't think about it as far as hiding Wazirike. Jackson just played so well.
Yeah, he did.
In this preseason. It's kind of like that Lavelle Bailey discussion I just got done having. It's like, here's a guy that really showed out. It's that last impression sometimes is the one that's most formidable in the mind. We forget about the way that Justin Sternad played. We forget about maybe, the investment we put into Wazirike, if nothing else, as far as time that we allowed him to continue to be on this roster. The only guy that got kind of messed up in that whole gambling scandal is still with his original team. That's Wazirike. So, yeah, I guess you can't hide him forever. But I'm like, I guess I'm the hot hand guy. I want to see Lavelle Bailey. I want to see Jackson out there, and maybe I'm wrong for that. What I'm not wrong about is talking about our amazing sponsor, and our amazing sponsor is Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets was once a nationwide company peddling their wares of Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold for over 34 years. But now they hang out just in your backyard, Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming. Man, I tell you what, they're doing shows left, right, and otherwise if they're, not getting canceled. And sometimes that just happens. You're not able to make it out to the Greeley Dog Show, for instance, that Pearl's talking about at the dog show this weekend in Greeley. The Greeley Dog Show that's been going on for 75 years. The Greeley Dog Show that Pearl and Morgan Trinkets has been going to for over 25 years. Check them out there if you get a chance. But if you can't, don't worry. I got you all taken care of. Head on over to Etsy. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Pearl's comments so you can see it there. Head on over to Etsy. Type in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. And you have everything that Pearl has to offer: the Southwest jewelry, the Southwest pottery, the estate gold at wholesale prices, and silver, sterling silver, 100% sterling silver. They got that as well. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. All major credit cards are accepted. Check out Morgan Trinkets. They've been a fantastic sponsor of ours. They're a fantastic retailer of Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, estate gold wholesale prices. So check them out. Like I said, Morgan Trinkets Co. If you're over on Etsy, that's a great way to go as well. Got to get back to these comments because I got Phil dropping comments as well. Maybe we'll flip on over to the defensive side of the ball. He says, I think Benito, Cooper, and Ellis are going to wreck this game. Trevor, the defense is the teeth, the heart. Everything that we know is the strength of this team. They're going up against the Tennessee Titans, who are traveling to Denver. Going to have to put up with this crowd. Have to put up with this defense as well. Cam Ward's getting his very first NFL start. Phil, is he wrong? Is Benito, Cooper, and Ellis just going to wreck this game left, right, and otherwise?
I mean, for me, I think this defense is going to wreck this game. Just as a whole, as a group. I mean, I wouldn't even single players out. I think that the secondary is going to have a really good game too. I mean, you have Calvin Ridley and who else? I mean, Calvin Ridley is their number one wide receiver. They don't have a lot of weapons for Cam Ward right now. You have to worry about Tony Pollard in this game, yes, but you have what, two weapons that Cam Ward has? I mean, this secondary is deep. You have Jahadi Barron, you have Pat Surtain, you have Riley Moss, you have Jaquan McMillan, Brandon Jones, Hufanga. I mean, this secondary I think is going to cook more or less, and it's going to help this edge rusher room, and it's going to help I think this team get to the quarterback and be able to put pressure on Cam Ward. I would watch for Zach Allen in this game as well. I think he's going to get a lot of pressure on Cam Ward early, and I think he's going to be in Cam Ward's face for most of the game. Keith, and this is my thing. If the Broncos, I think, are going to win this game, they're going to need their defense to really step up, because if I had to kind of have a say right now, I think this defense has a better chance to shut down the Tennessee Titans, and I think the Broncos offense has to kind of get things rolling. I think it might be a little the Broncos offense might start out a little slower, just to start the game, but I think the Broncos defense is going to be what ends up hyping this team up and getting this team going on Sunday.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, you got Calvin Ridley, is the key big target for this Titans team. I'll be honest, I was a big Calvin Ridley fan. I liked his game. He's funny enough, he's another one of those guys that got caught up in the gambling thing, since we just got done talking about Wazirike. But Calvin Ridley was a guy that I really thought was going to be the next Alabama wide receiver, come on the scene and be that guy. He is no joke. He is a guy that you need to account for. He is a guy that, for all intents and purposes, it sounds like he's going to be moved around a lot. It'll be interesting to see if PS2 is the guy who follows him around, or whether they pass off that coverage. I don't know if Calvin Ridley is a guy that you want to pass off coverage from. You do have Tyler Lockett. I think that here's a old wily veteran that has something to prove. Got basically kicked out of Seattle. He's over to Tennessee. He's got Cam Ward as his quarterback. He could certainly, pose a threat, I guess you could say. Elik Iomanner has been coming on strong for him. So I'm not going to pass off this Titans wide receiver room. It's all going to be about what Cam Ward can do, how he can distribute. It's not easy being a rookie quarterback, getting your first start in the NFL. And I'm going to add to that, Trevor, because he's traveling to Denver, one of the most ruckus crowds, and I expect him to be there come week 1 for this Denver Broncos team. It's going to be loud in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're mile high. You're going up against a playoff team and one of the toughest defenses in the league. That does not pose well for Cam Ward in his first overall start. It doesn't, honestly. I even heard the Tennessee Titans, I listened to one of their podcasts, saying this might be the toughest rookie week 1 NFL start ever, going up against this Denver Broncos team as a rookie, going up against this Denver Broncos defense as a rookie. So I think you're right, man. I don't think it just comes from Benito and Cooper and Ellis. I mean, it could come from Jones. It could come from Allen. It could come from Alex Singleton. You know what I mean? It's just like literally, it could be all over the place, because I think there is an opportunity to kind of eat here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's another thing to keep an eye on, Keith. You just mentioned Cam Ward's first start ever in the NFL as a rookie. If you're, the Tennessee Titans, what would you rather do? Have Cam Ward pass the ball 35 times? You're going to be able to run the football against this Broncos defense. Oh, by the way, Malcolm Roach, one of their nose tackles, is down, and you know that this team has struggled to stop the run of the pass. I mean, it gets good playoff caliber teams. You have Tony Pollard. I think if Tennessee has any chance to win this game, Tony Pollard's going to have to be a big part of their running game. Running game is going to have a big day. I don't expect Cam Ward to drop back to pass a ton, because, like you said, tough environment against one of the top defenses in the league, and he's on the road. I think that they're going to have a pretty heavy emphasis on the run game. If I had to make a prediction right now, Keith, I think it's going to be Tony Pollard, a pretty big game for Tony Pollard, and I think they're going to try to get that run game going early. That's the best way for opposing teams to kind of get their momentum going in the right direction is by establishing the run game early on. And I think that Tennessee, if they want to win this game, which again of course they want to win this game, but if they're gonna win this game, they're gonna have a big game and a big day in the run game.
Yeah, it'll have to be, but I'll be honest. As I was looking over the depth chart for this Tennessee Titans team, and I saw Tony Pollard as their RB1. Maybe I just feel like the days have passed of Tony Pollard. I mean, this is a guy that used to be on the Dallas Cowboys. You know, I just not a great option to turn to. You know, not the most dynamic running back that you could possibly turn to when you're Cam Ward and you're a rookie quarterback. I want to point out a couple other things too, man. I didn't realize that Kevin Zeitler and Lloyd Cushenberry played 0 preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
That's their right guard and their center, and their left tackle, Dan Moore, has been injured, but is expected to play, practice throughout the week, and is expected to play. But as the Tennessee Titans podcaster I listened to once said, it doesn't matter. Dan Moore ain't that good. So just more indications of why this defense should be able to eat and really get after Cam Ward in this game. I think it's crucial. You get to him early, you get to him often, and if that's the case, I mean, it could be kind of game over before the game begins. That brings me to this question. I'll get this one, and I got one from Kenny Kirkpatrick, one of the horsemen that's been in the comments, but I haven't even flashed his name on the screen, so I got to get to something. He's got a question for you. But Phil McLaughlin's got one here. He says, how many sacks and turnovers do we get? I'll take this one first since I'm going to give you Kenny Kirkpatrick. I think the sacks could be big. I think the sacks could be big because Cam Ward is a guy that does like to hold on to the ball. He does like to kind of scramble outside the pocket, try to make something happen. And I think that could be big on both sides, I guess, now that I think about it, the sacks and the turnovers. If he's turning into pressure, sacks can come. If he's scrambling around and he thinks he can get one in deep like he used to in college, that could be interceptions. I'm not going to go too far. I'm going to go 3 sacks, 1 interception on this, man. I think the interceptions could be bigger, but I'm not going to push it too far, man. I'll go a total of 4 turnovers in this game for the Broncos. Hopefully they're 4 in the plus minus category as well. But 4 turnovers overall, 3 sacks, 1 interceptions. What are your thoughts on Phil's question here?
Yeah, I mean, again, it just depends. I mean, can Tennessee get the run game going? I really think they're going to try to establish that. Tony Pollard's a 1,000-yard rusher. He was last season. That's certainly something to keep your eye on. I know they're Tajay Spears, their second-year running back, or I should say their younger running back that he was supposed to split carries with Tony Pollard this season. He's actually injured and he's out for this game. So Tony Pollard's going to see a lot of touches, I think, in this game. And you have a rookie quarterback, and you don't want to play into the Broncos' strengths defensively. The Broncos, I think, want Cam Ward to throw the ball. They want to see what Cam Ward can do. That you want Cam Ward to show that he can beat you. When we've talked about Denver secondary and how that's probably the strength of their defense right now. I think that if you are Tennessee, you want to kind of go away from that and attack this team on the ground first and foremost. But from a sack standpoint, I think we could probably see, I would say, 4 sacks in this game. I think if Denver can get things going on offense, you can really start to kind of see Tennessee start to push heavier towards the passing game because they're going to be down in the game. So I think it all depends. But I think 4 sacks, I would say, and I would say I would say 2 turnovers in this game. I think Denver's defense can possibly get all. Again, if you want this team to get turnovers and want this team to get sacks, Denver's got to start out hot early, and they've got to make Tennessee be a pass heavy team. And while you do and how you do that, you get a lead up on them, so they are forced to throw the football and not run the football at you.
I'm looking at the time, man. I know it's got like 15 minutes in this episode, man, but I'm going to go some rapid fire because I have some questions. And I'm going to start with Kenny's question. Kenny says, question for Trevor. Are there any concerns that everyone, and I mean everyone, is picking the Broncos and picking them to blow out the Tennessee Titans, man? We talk about the psyche, the bulletin board material, whatever have you, man. How concerned are you that the Denver Broncos have been up to like 9-point favorites, I believe, on some lines?
Mm-hmm.
Is that too much for the egos of the Denver Broncos or too much bulletin board material for the Tennessee Titans?
I mean, it better not be anything for Denver other than motivation. I mean, you can't take any team lightly in the NFL. This is all still NFL talent. All 32 teams, no matter what their record ends up being last season, it don't matter. This is a new season. This is a new team with a new identity. They're going to come out and they're going to be ready to come try to get a win on the road. A huge win for them and huge motivation for them if they can pull off that win. So am I concerned? I'm not concerned about the Broncos locker room. I think people outside, Dove Valley and outside the doors, I wouldn't expect a blowout necessarily, just because I'm still concerned with this Broncos offense, Keith. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, this offense didn't have a lot of bright spots in the preseason. I know we've seen very little of this offense, but still, there was a couple drives where they were able to get a field goal and they were able to put points on the board, but it didn't look great. And so I could see this offense get off to a slow start and then slowly start moving their way up throughout the season. But again, a win is a win regardless. I don't care if it's a blowout. It doesn't need to be a blowout because at the end of the day, week 1, all it matters is you get a win, and you get a win at home. And you beat a team that you're supposed to beat. So even if it's a blowout or not, it don't matter. A win is a win. You got to get a win on Sunday. That is the main goal, and that is what matters.
All right, man. Obviously, Trevor doesn't know the idea of a quick hitter, but we'll get better. I agree. I believe in you, man. I believe in you.
Oh, it's all right.
Regardless of how good Cam Ward could be and how good this defense is, Denver's offense still looks like it has a long way to go before it's close to being efficient, says Peter Johnson. Man, if he was to paraphrase what you just said at the end there, that would be it, Peter. Man, I think you and Trevor are lockstep. Peter also is coming in kind of saying 4 sacks, 1 turnover would be a fantastic or a decent start to this season. And Michael Ronquillo just reminded us this front seven for the Tennessee Titans defense is their strength. So we'll have to watch out. I've ignored it enough. So this is a super quick one. Over under 700 yards for Pat Bryant. Graham's been pounding the table on this one. He wants to know, man. He's got a Pat Bryant obsession right here. We need to figure it out for him.
Yeah, I would say it's under. I don't think Pat Bryant gets to 700 yards this season, but he's a rookie, so it's okay. I don't. And the amount of wide receivers you have in this wide receiver room, Keith, and rotation Sean Payton likes to use, I think it's under for Pat Bryant this season, under 700 yards.
Yeah, I think it has to be under 700 yards as well. I wouldn't doubt if it could test that number, though. Just depends upon how he's plays, how he's utilized. But Cortland Sutton is a big number 1 wide receiver target. We just brought Evan Ingram in. Troy Franklin's looking amazing through the preseason. You're hoping that Marvin Mims is more than a special teamer. Well, that's a long route to Pat Bryant getting 700 yards in his rookie season when that's what's in front of you. So that's the only reason. Now, is Pat Bryant the future? Maybe, and we'll see about that. I got a few of them, man. I stole these from the Titans podcast, man. The Broncos are bad on 3rd down, and you need to be able to take advantage of that, said the Titans podcast. What do you have to say about the Broncos being bad on third down, and how are they going to combat that compared to last year?
I mean, first and foremost, were they bad? I mean, to be honest, they weren't great last season with it. But I think how the Broncos can fix that problem. I mean, it needs to be third and manageable. You can't get into these 3rd and 12s. You can't get into this 3rd and 15s where you're going to have to really sling the ball down the field to even get close to a first down or even get a first down. So if you can get to 3rd and manageable, that's more than enough. You know, I say 3rd and manageable. I say like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. Just a lot more manageable to where you can get that first down. You just cannot have those 3rd and 15s you just can't happen. You're going to win football games by doing that. You got to be able to, and that's kind of goes back to the point, Keith, of you got to be able to run the football. So 3rd and 2s and much more manageable 3rd downs, I think, is a huge something the Broncos need to be better at this season. Is something that can be huge possibly for this offense.
All right, well, man, you wrapped it right into the second one, man. The Broncos had no running game last year, ranked along the worst. You just talked about how you get out of that 3rd down situation that they were so bad in last year, and maybe that is the solution, man. How do you think the Denver Broncos have what it takes against this Tennessee Titans defense to have a solid running game and get to 3rd and manageable and not rank among the worst in the league after week 1?
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely have the talent. I mean, but can they put it all together, and can their head coach? How big of an emphasis is Sean Payton, their head coach, their offensive play caller, going to put on the run game this season? We've yet to see it in 2 seasons since he's been in Denver. So, well, I want to see it full circle before I have all this confidence in Sean Payton be able to run the football effectively. But 513 yards was your leading rusher last season, Keith. Bo Nix for a large part of last season was your leading rusher. That can't happen this season. Bo Nix put this offense on his shoulders last season. He needs more help, and he needs more help in that running back room. You invest in J.K. Dobbins, you invest in R.J. Harvey, and now it's time to see what these guys can do, and you've got to be much better on the ground game, not just week 1, but throughout the season.
Man, I feel like I could go through this all night long, man. I didn't get to as near as much as I wanted to. I got one more hard-hitting question, I think, for you. They said Courtland Sutton is the only wide receiver you need to worry about. Marvin Mims isn't really a threat. Troy Franklin isn't really a threat. Look at him last year. And beyond that, it's a bunch of rookies and such. Courtland Sutton's the only guy you need to worry about. Lock down Courtland Sutton. You probably got this game locked down as far as Denver Broncos passing game is concerned. I think they overlooked Evan Ingram a little bit there, but what are your thoughts on the wide receivers alone? We'll take Evan Ingram out of the equation.
Yeah, I would totally disagree with that. I think Courtland Sutton's the proven commodity out of all those wide receivers. That doesn't mean that these guys aren't talented or aren't good enough to be, possibly number 1 wide receivers. I think Troy Franklin's still got the highest ceiling of all these wide receivers under Courtland Sutton. But I think that Courtland Sutton being a proven commodity, I think could actually help some of these younger wide receivers, because now they're going to go out there and they're going to go try to prove to others that they can be a proven commodity. I think that Bo Nix is going to be able to spread the ball around this season. I think that's some of the advantages that this offense has, the potential that this offense has, Keith, is be able to move the football around a lot. And you wonder if the Tennessee Titans defense is going to try to double team Courtland Sutton at some point in time. Somebody in that passing game, in that wide receiver room, is going to have to step up.
All right. I got one last one. Kenny Kirkpatrick has a fun one. He says, who gets the first touchdown for this Denver Broncos team? In the 2025-2026 season, with all the weapons that we have out there, who do you see getting the first touchdown for this Denver Broncos team? I'd love the Posse to weigh in. By the way, Posse, thank you so much, man. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Not only the star givers, but the comments, the questions, the thoughts, the ideas. We love you very much. But, who gets that first Broncos touchdown? That's a great one, man.
Yeah, it's a great one. I'm gonna go on the defense side of the ball. I'm gonna say it's a fumble recovery, and I'm gonna say it's Justin Sternad's going to get a fumble recovery returned back to the end zone, and the Broncos are going to get on the board. That's how this game's going to start out, is a fumble recovery, and this Broncos defense getting one of those turnovers that we just talked about not too long ago.
I love it, man. I love it. I mean, if the Broncos start off with a defensive touchdown, well, go lay down your money right now, man. That's got to be a good odds right there, man. Good odds on this one, I think. J.K. Dobbins. I think if overall you had to just put money on a guy, if there were odds that were low, it would probably be J.K. Dobbins, man. Gobbles up on the goal line. If we get down near the goal line, I expect to see some J.K. Dobbins. Peter Johnson coming in and saying, first touchdown, a Bo Nix scramble. A Bo Nix scramble.
Yeah.
I like that one. He stole mine, so now I have to go someplace else as I scroll through here. Long shot for Kenny Kirkpatrick is Tyler Bidet, the third running back, at least on the unofficial depth chart in front of Jaleel McLaughlin. So there's that. Cortland Sutton is going to get the first touchdown, says Mr. Michael Ronquillo. Giving it to the OG. Quickly becoming the old man. I was thinking about that on this roster, man, as they continue to get younger and younger, it seems. Old man Cortland Sutton is probably going to be one of his nicknames here pretty soon. RJ Harvey scores the first touchdown, says Ernie Mays. He's trying to earn my heart right there. Oh, my goodness. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see a big old run from RJ Harvey for a touchdown. Well, since you all came up with all these different names, I guess I got to come up with a different one, man. Evan Ingram only needed one play, and then he was checked out of a game when they said, hey, there's a couple guys out there we'd like to get a few more touches. One touch for Evan Ingram. And he said, dang it, that should have been a touchdown. I should have been able to take that all the way. If Evan Ingram can rattle off of whatever that was, 45, 50-yard touch, catch and run, just needs to be on the right part of the field. That's a touchdown, baby. That's a touchdown. And I wouldn't be surprised if Evan Ingram gets the first touchdown. Doesn't reel in a ton from year to year, but Evan Ingram can get it done. I like this one from Phil too, man. I don't know if anyone mentioned this one. Deep pass, Troy Franklin. I'm good with that, my friend. I'm totally good with that. I think Troy Franklin's about ready to bust out on this league. We're about ready to bust out on this episode, but as you can see behind me, man, I'll go this shoulder. It's a blank scoreboard. This Tennessee Titans team can be formidable on defense. This Tennessee Titans team has went out there and got what they hope to be their franchise quarterback moving forward. This Tennessee Titans team is going to want to get a win regardless of how they start in the Mile High City, the tough conditions. But Denver's not going to lay down. We're going to figure out what the score predictions are going to be from everyone. I want the posse involved on this one. This is an easy one, posse. Jump on in here. Bo Nix can count on wide receiver Cortland Sutton, says Michael Ronquillo. That's my guess is his prediction for as far as that touchdown is concerned as well, maybe. But let's get to some score predictions in. I see Phil's already coming in with a big one for the Broncos, I believe. I want to get yours as well, Trevor. We'll get the rest of the posse in here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a Broncos win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout, Keith. I think this Titans defense is better than what some give it credit for. Like again, you have L'Jarius Sneed, who's going to be probably covering Cortland Sutton. Sneed used to be in Kansas City. That was their number one cornerback when he was there. And they also, Trevion Sweat, a guy that we really liked a couple of years ago, that have him up front. So this is Tennessee Titans defense is not going to lay over. if they can just kind of figure it out offensively, might be a sneaky team down the road. But I think it's going to be I'm going to say 24-13 Broncos win. I think this is going to be a little bit closer game than some think, but I think Denver ends up getting a couple turnovers defensively, then ends up sealing the deal. And I think the offense, as the game goes on, I think they'll get more momentum, and hopefully will lead into a faster start in week 2.
All right, I'm not trying to plug a Titans podcast, but I listened to the Locked On Titans podcast, and I don't even know who the host of that show is. I wish I could give him a little bit of credit because, like I said, I certainly stole a lot of his points when coming into this podcast this evening. I'll make sure I shout him out on the next podcast when we're talking post game, and see how many things he got right and wrong about his Tennessee Titans team. I only bring that up, Trevor, because his prediction, he said, I can't lie to you. I know that y'all want me to be fans of this Tennessee Titans team. I know that y'all want me to say that we're going to go 17-0. I know that you all want me to predict a win for the Tennessee Titans. He says, I can't do it. I'd be a liar. And Guy Fizz felt like a lot like who we are, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we call it like it is sometimes. He predicted a 24-13 win for the Denver Broncos. Exactly what you said. And he says, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even a 27-13 win. I could see it even getting stretched out to that as well. I have a hard time disagreeing with any of that. Honestly, I was going to come in with the prediction from the Tennessee Titans podcast, 24-13. You know what? I'm going to make it just a little bit closer then. I want to go I'll go 17-13. 17-13 win for this Denver Broncos team. The only reason I say that, man, is because it is tough to get off on the right foot. It is tough to have all things clicking. And I think Peter Johnson nailed it a little bit earlier. I mean, this Denver Broncos offense hasn't looked fantastic. I need to see a little bit from this Denver Broncos offense. They hopefully can get it done against this Tennessee Titans team, at least through the air. I know that the ground might be a little bit tough, but at least with the air, let's get some stuff done. I'd love to be higher than 17-13, but like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't want to pick the exact same score as you did, and I guess now I find out. Tyler Rowland, Locked On Titans host. Thank you very much, Graham. Appreciate it very much. Maybe we'll have him on like that. Let's go through the predictions. Kenny Kirkpatrick, I'm going to go bottom up, coming in with a 21-16 Broncos win. Big E Bronco, I think, has the largest spread. Expecting the Broncos to just pile up on this Tennessee Titans team as they only get 9 points. We go get 31. It's a huge win for the Denver Broncos. Graham's coming in with that 13-10. Ernie Mays, another big one, 31-14. We got Phil McLaughlin over on Facebook, 28-6. That's another big spread right there, man. Do you think that we can really, and I'll just get this as a kind of a final thought, at least question for me.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of low scores in here. 6 points, 9 points. Do you think the Denver Broncos team could, hold this Tennessee Titans team to just a few field goals possibly?
Yeah, I absolutely do think that, Keith. I think that the Broncos defense, I think, is something I'm very confident about. I'm a little concerned with the Malcolm Roach injury and obviously Dre Greenlaw not playing, but I think that this defense can handle it. There's guys in place that I think, at least for this game, can definitely handle it, and they can fill in when obviously they're called upon. And I'm talking about DJ Jones. I'm talking about Justin Strnad, two guys that we've talked heavily about tonight that I think is going to be heavily involved on Sunday. So, I think that this Broncos defense is very much so capable of that, Keith, and especially stopping the run. It's so important. Being able to stop that run game and stop Tony Pollard from getting any momentum, because now you're forcing Cam Ward to beat you with his arm. His very first game in the NFL. Think about that for a minute. That's a lot of pressure on Cam Ward and this Tennessee Titans offense. And I think it really favors the Broncos defense if you are forcing Cam Ward to drop back to pass a lot more.
Fair enough. I figured I actually have one more. By the way, Michael Ronquillo, 42-10. Broncos over the Titans. That's the biggest one. Clayton coming in late saying, hey guys, smash that like and share button. Love that. And 3 field goals would be nice. Just the Denver Broncos only allowing 3 field goals, says Mr. Ernie Mays. I want this really quick, man. Mm-hmm. Offensive MVP, defensive MVP. Who do you got?
I'm going to go defense side of the ball first. I think it's going to be Zach Allen on the defense side of the ball. I think he's going to put pressure in Cam Ward's face all day. Maybe the sacks won't add up, Keith, but Zach Allen, he puts puts a lot of pressure on quarterback and on the quarterback. And the Tennessee Titans offensive line is still a little shaky, like you just said. Lloyd Cushenberry hasn't really played a snap all preseason game. All preseason long, I should say. So I think Zach Allen lining up right in the middle and putting pressure on Cam Ward is absolutely going to be something to watch out for. I think offensively, my offensive MVP, man, that's tough. You know what? I'm going to say I'm gonna end up saying Evan Ingram. I think that he ends up having a good game in this game. I like the matchup. And I think that Cortland Sutton, there's going to be a lot of tension on Cortland Sutton, but Cortland Sutton, I think, is possibly going to get double covered at some point in time. Everybody knows Bo Nix loves to throw to Cortland Sutton. Evan Ingram helps open up the field a little bit more, and he gives Bo Nix a great second option when needed. So I think Evan Ingram, for me, is probably my offensive MVP.
All right, man. For Michael, it's Nick Benito and Cortland Sutton. For Ernie Mays, it's RJ Harvey, Nick Benito. From Phil McLaughlin, Bo Nix and Nick Benito. A lot of Nick Benito love in there. Love that. I'm going to go 2 different sides, man. Offense, I'm just going to go guys that I really love and would love to show out. Offense, I want RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey has a good game. Man, I'll tell you what, this game is put away quickly and easily. I think that's the heart of this game. We go offensive MVP, RJ Harvey. Defensive MVP, you talked about it. It's a guy that definitely needs to step up. Dre Greenlaw's down. I'm going to go Justin Strnad. You talked about him possibly getting that turnover. He's that guy that sniffs around the ball quite well. He's a guy that can make turnovers happen. He's a guy that loves to be in the backfield from time to time as well. Justin Strnad is my defensive MVP. Boy, I should have done this earlier. Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in with JFM on defense, Marvin Mims on offense. Clayton's coming in. He's saying Bo Nix on offense. He's got Nick Bonito on defense. He's also okay with Strnad as well. So that's a possibility as well. He's saying screens, draws, bubble screens, and quick passes. Use Bo Nix's legs. About 30 yards rushing from him. That's how Bo Nix maybe is getting that MVP award on the offensive side of things. Makes me think of Simmons talking about how Bo Nix is a one-read guy, though. Don't bubble screens and quick passes. I think we got more in him than that, man. I think you're right. He's going to be out there to prove a little bit as well. I think we got some bulletin board material. I think we got some scores for this game. And I think everybody predicted a win. Hopefully, this isn't a sleeper game, man. A sleeper game in the fact that we overlooking these Tennessee Titans. I think the Denver Broncos are going to be out there ready to go. It's week 1, man. It's tough to overlook a week 1 matchup and sleep past your opponent at that point. I think you're just ready to go and wanting to hit somebody. I think the Broncos will hit them hard, man. I feel better about my 24-13 than my 17-13 prediction, but I'll still go with it, man. Pearl's coming in at the 21-19. Broncos win. We're all winners tonight, Trevor, man. We had an amazing podcast. The posse was hopping. We had start givers from Phil to Michael Ronquillo to our good friend Patrick Wiltsey as well. But more than anything, we had a great conversation. I can't wait to jump in on Sunday post game as well. But we got to get out of here, man. Let's get some some final thoughts before we get to that post game, I guess, and what we all expect to be a Denver Broncos win.
Yeah, absolutely, Keith. And I mean, week 1 against Tennessee Titans at home, you better win because after that you have the Colts. And I think this is maybe a hot take for you, Keith, and for Broncos country here. I think the Broncos need to start out 2-0 this season. I think should be a heavy emphasis on this team starting out 2-0 against Tennessee Titans, against the Indianapolis Colts. You absolutely need to win both those games because after that, your schedule doesn't get any easier. You have the Chargers in week 3, you have the Cincinnati Bengals in week 4, and you have the Philadelphia Eagles week 5. Yeah. So those are very tough games, and the schedule don't get any easier. So you've got to start out and winning football games. You can't afford to drop these 2 early games at all. I don't even think 1-1. You've got to be able to win both of them. So you got to find a way to do it. I don't care if it's a blowout. I don't care if you win by 1 point. A win is a win regardless. And so, again, excited football's back. There was a game on tonight, and hopefully everybody's enjoying that game. I'm excited to kind of see how that game ends up folding out. Chargers and Chiefs, of course, we're talking about here. But I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight, whether you're watching live and after the fact. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll see you for post game. And as always, go Broncos.
Man, I got that mile high salute. Can't wait to see a few of those, hopefully this weekend in the end zone from this Denver Broncos offense, maybe in the defense as well. Man, it's been a fantastic show, but more than anything, it's been a fantastic run up to this season, man. I mean, the offseason's been great. Had fun. Went to training camp. Got to see some of the Broncos players, got to interact with some of the fans, got to go through a 3 days of a draft show that was amazing. Everything that has piled and compiled up till now, man. And it's all about to happen. Can't wait for this Sunday's game, man. Like I said, don't do it enough. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We go live Monday morning, 7 a.m., Wednesdays, 7 p.m., Fridays, 7 p.m. Those are all Mountain Standard Time. And, of course, don't forget, man, post-game, we got that show lined up and ready for you as well as we get a reaction show going for you. Thank you, everybody, for a fantastic, fantastic podcast. We do got to get out of here. As always, make sure you keep those boots in the boots.
Boots in the what?
Stirrups. All of a sudden, all I had holsters, man, in my head. That's all I had. Thank you, man. Boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and, of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Till next time, guys, we're out of here. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the game, everybody. Enjoy the game. Can't wait to see you after the game. Until then, we're out of here. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend.